Okay. I just want to give you guys an idea of somebody who really had to do a bug out, somebody who really had to be evacuated. This is my second or third evacuation. And people talk a good game about bug out, what they're going to do. When your mountain, this whole mountain's on fire with 70 miles an hour winds, and there's nowhere to go, and there's 3,000 people running for their lives, and you're sleeping in your car, that's a true bug out. When your Wi-Fi goes down and your city is closed out, that's a real bug out situation. When you have police that don't even know from hour to hour if you're going to survive with regards to your community, there's a lot of things that happen. And I've watched a lot of bug outs because, of course, like everybody else, I'm concerned about the environment and what's going on. I want to give you guys a picture of, I'm not going to show you my house out of privacy, for my own privacy, but I will say I'm in California. This whole area is about, I don't know, 100 acres or something, and our houses are clearly very close to this area. So I know what I'm talking about. And furthermore, being a female, we had people here, families sleeping in cars and so forth. So what really needs to be done in these circumstances with regards to people putting kits together? I wanted to help because there were some things I did right and some things I did wrong. I have put together an evacuation kit. I've always had that, and the only thing I could grab this time was basically my purse, which I also had prepared ahead of time, all my papers with everything, insurance and all that. By the way, I have that also in safety deposit box. So I highly suggest that you have a place you can go quickly. When you're running and you got 5 minutes, you need to be able to grab something that's already put together and be able to have it all organized. So you need cash, credit cards, your insurance papers, your medical information, any cards that are for gas, retail, anything like that that could be in there. Of course, passport, everything. Okay. Luckily, I grabbed that, and I was out this time for 4 days, 4 nights of hell. Before it was 24 hours. In any case, I highly suggest that in these days, if you have a car or anything, well, you better have a car. Most people had 2 cars. Some of those cars are now gone. But I wanted to give you an idea of, without showing too much. So this is a mess, so excuse me. But what I have in here is important. It's more important I tell you what I got in here. So I've got preparations for the vehicle, if the vehicle has a problem. So that would be things for the tires going out, because remember, you're talking about debris, mud, rain, possibly winds. So you need to have preparations for your vehicle, such as it needs to be in good shape, you need to be gassed up, and you need to have spare tire prepared. Anything that you need to fix, a quick fix. I have, of course, got the cables, for battery. So a lot of people don't have that all in order, so that's a real problem, because your car is your first line for safety is your vehicle. It becomes your house. Okay, so without getting, again, too personal, I have in here, obviously, the water, Gatorades. I have medical supplies in here. I have a whole bug out bag, which is also one of the things I made a mistake with regards to the cell phone. I have a good cell phone, a Samsung. One of the things I made a mistake was that even though I managed to get to a Motel 6 and get in because the evacuation centers were full, keep in mind that, like I said, the Wi-Fi went down, self-service was extended, our data plan, thanks to AT&T, I was a member, we got extended so we could call out and get information. Television stations had minimal information. So you're really a lot more on your own than you think. People say, oh, in terms of communication, you can only get certain communication if they have it. So, okay, that's enough of that. You should have a vehicle. I suggest getting an SUV if you have any power to change vehicles, because you can sleep 5 feet, 6 feet in a car. We all did. This is something that you think, well, next time I'll just, well, guess what? Next time came and there was no time to do anything. Ask for help too. Ask for help. Support people and help them with their children, their animals, and everything else. I'm going to go now into a little more detail, so I'll be back in 1 second. One of my other mistakes was, yes, I have not only got one of those animal containers, I had two. With regards again of having 5 minutes to get out your door, even though this is a small thing, unless you have no control of an animal or you have multiple animals, it's very hard to keep this in the vehicle. Yes, I could keep this in my car all the time, but then I run into break-ins, and so that's one of the mistakes I made. Always have some secure place to put your animals, or extra rope in the car. Goes without saying, if you're vaccinated or not vaccinated, you should have that. Also, you get your animal vet checked when you're finished with your crisis, or if you can get into, with again, carrying cash would be very helpful. The last thing I want to talk to you guys about is clothing. When you are running out the door, and generally speaking, you have no idea what the weather will be, what kind of weather you'll be tolerating, if there'll be air conditioning or if there'll be heat. It's highly suggested that you already have blankets in your vehicle, or else have sweaters in there already packed up. We didn't have, again, we don't have time to do very much. So my suggestion is, pending the territory you're in, prepare for both. We just ran out in our pajamas, but I did have sunscreen, and I always have hat. Look at the hat collection I have. This is my hat collection. I have a lot of hats. So there's always hats in the car. So your car should be packed for generally your basic conditions, as far as heat or air conditioner loss of power. So you're suffering either those. I kind of said it 5 ways from Sunday. Same with change of clothes, change of underwear, all that stuff. You may not have the luxury, especially if you're with pets, kids, to just run around and start going shopping. I did have some control. I have a small animal, so it was fine, but those who have 5 kids and everything, you're exhausted, you're out of money, you're tapped out of energy, you have one car, you may be running out of time for motel. People think, well, just go to a motel and rest. It isn't that simple. Motels get full up. You may not get a room. A lot of people lost their room the last 2 nights. Remember, again, going back to the most important thing, do not rely on your news stations, or 311 failed us, okay? 911 was gone. So people who are doing this bug out stuff need to actually be bugged out before you start giving advice. If you're a hunter, that's great. If you're, that's good. You should definitely, be an outdoorsman and a hunter, and show people how to survive outdoors without any urban, conveniences. I'm speaking from my point of view because I've done it. If you have done it, if you've been in the military, or you have done something and survived it, that's who should be giving advice, because they really went through it. Almost, I would say the top thing I could leave you guys with is, you must have some relationships with your neighbors or with some people locally. If you have decided that you're pulling back from people socially, or you're very shy, or maybe you just live with your husband or wife, you really need to branch out, because your first line of defense against emotional trauma are your neighbors. That's the first people, and the people in your city if you're in a city. One more thing, I just want to give hats off to some of the help that I got from my local community, and that would be Denny's, actually, which let 4 or 5 of us sleep in our cars. Denny's, hats off to you. Thank you for supporting us and not kicking us out of the parking lot. That was wonderful. And also the pet store opened up for washing the pets. Our local community really came to us, and they really opened their doors. We had my gym allowed people to come in and take showers and things. So it's the basic emergency. And I want to add one more thing. It's really important. I may get some flack for this, but I'm going to say it anyways. Red Cross is full of BS. They came after the fact. All Red Cross does is take your money. Please go investigate your local charities and find out really what they do, because they didn't do squat here. And by the way, FEMA, forget FEMA, fake emergency medical ass wipes. That's what my name is for them. They are full of it. They didn't do anything. Their website was down. Nobody got help by FEMA. The only people that helped us were the locals, our neighbors, and our community. That's it, folks. Cops were wonderful. They guarded our house. The firemen were busy, and the ERs and the hospitals, of course, hats off to them. But do not rely on FEMA. Okay, I'm not going to go into a conspiracy, but I can tell you right now that it was down. There was nothing. I have received nothing. Nobody's received anything from FEMA. There hasn't been no knock on the door. There hasn't been any literature handed out. So good luck out there. Yes, do your own bug out bag and be very sure you have some money and some credit cards open for getting in and out of emergency situations. And by the way, I did say that was the last thing. I got one more thing to say. Insurance. Whatever insurance plan you have, count on them paying you a third of what they say they're going to pay you. So get insurance, get renter's insurance too, get all the insurance you can, but have a backup plan for your finances. Okay, thank you very much. I hope this helps. Please, for God's sakes, if you ever get into this situation, help others, tell everybody, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.